character I ever created. This is my second adventure of Rusty Dagger. At the end of the last adventure, Arzag and Allendale were having a traditional adventurous celebration. Then they decided they needed to leave town in the dead of night. They have ended up in the small town of Clemsdorf. Arzag is named after the first D&D character I ever created. He took part in my first excursions into the Keep on the Borderlands. Before I knew what happened, Arzag was standing over the corpse of a bugbear. Not bad for a first level fighter who was hopelessly outclassed. Definitely better to be lucky than good. This name earned Arzag the nickname of Bugbear Slayer. Arzag is now a level 2 mercenary and has picked up the skill Primal Rage. Scene 1. Arzag is woken from sleep by a blood-curdling scream. Deciding that this is a capital crime, he grabs his trusty sword, his trademark furry underpants, and his Ugg boots, and staggers out in search of the source of the noise and who he has to silence to get some more sleep. Arzag arrives in the marketplace and finds some ruffians harassing some merchants and a woman and child. Arzag politely asks the ruffians to leave, or at least hold it down. The ruffians decline to acquiesce to this request, and swords are drawn. The heroes win initiative, and the woman and child retreat to safety behind Arzag. Get behind me if you want to live. Emboldened by the retreat of their foes, the ruffians advance. Arzag tries out his new Primal Rage. This gives him rerolls on attack rolls until he takes a wound. Combat is joined. Having drawn his foes into position, Arzag begins the Dance of Steel. The first barbarian moves up and swings at Jill. Missing 6 to 7, Arzag moves forwards and hits the barbarian 8 to 7. The spear barbarian moves forward and hits Arzag 7 to 3. Arzag rolls a double 1. Unfortunately, this cancels Primal Rage. This will become a pattern. Arzag slashes the barbarian in front of Jill 8 to 4. Arzag misses the barbarian with his last attack 8 to 8. Now Primal Rage could have been really useful about now, but it wasn't in effect. The last barbarian moves up. The barbarian barely gets his shield in the way of Arzag's attack in time. It's a tie 8 to 8, and ties go to the defender. This leaves Arzag open to another stab with the spear 9 to 6. Sensing danger, the barbarian with the shield turns and attacks Arzag, but is unable to find a way past his guard 6 to 9. The third barbarian moves up and hits Jill with her spear butt 7 to 1. Arzag backhands the shield barbarian 6 to 3, taking him out of action. He then turns and stabs the spear arm barbarian 9 to 3. Doing okay. Next round, Arzag hits the spear barbarian 7 to 6, just sliding his sword past his foe's block. However, he takes another blow 7 to 5. Arzag then finishes his opponent 7 to 6 and moves around to attack the last barbarian. The barbarian swings at Allendale but misses 3 to 5. This is a feint, allowing him to hit Jill 7 to 3. She's now down to half health. Arzag arrives just in time to get in a blow 10 to 8 on this last opponent. Now we see if Arzag can kill the last barbarian, who's got 2 health left, before he can kill Jill, who's also got 2 health left. Randomly determining who he will attack. Interlude, the narrative challenge. Now the combat is over. The town mayor and a couple of scruffy-looking guards arrive. "What have you done?" the mayor yells. "We had a deal with those barbarians. that their raiders could take what they wanted and not unleash their plague of rats and burn the town down. Some deal, Arzag snorts. High on endorphins, Arzag exclaims that he will rid the town of this threat of rat plagues and fire. Who will help me? He appeals. The crowd look silently at one another and turn away. Arzag needed a 10+ candor roll and couldn't do it. The woman they saved comes over. My name is Jill. I know the way to their camp, so I can help you. I don't think anybody else would have saved us from those menaces. Now I can return the favour. The nearest barbarian moves up, alert for trouble. Arzag uses primal rage, then steps around the pillar and hits the barbarian 13-7. The berserker moves up, Allendale moves up. The idea is that he will draw off one of the barbarians so Arzag doesn't get completely surrounded. Arzag hits his opponent a second time, 6-4. The barbarian hits Arzag with his spear 8-6, cancelling primal rage. Curses. This is becoming a pattern. Whenever Arzag spends an activation to get primal rage going, he rolls fantastic to hit and terrible for defense. What I need him to do is roll poor for offense the first time and better with the reroll, and then great for defense. Because at the moment he doesn't need primal rage to hit when it's up, and then he gets hit and it cancels and he's wasted a whole action. Arg! Arzag missed the barbarian 4-4 in all that confusion. I mean, just when primal rage would have been useful, and that's a double one from Arzag. The barbarian with the spear moves up and stabs Allendale 6-2. Arzag kills his opponent 9-7 and then moves over to distract the barbarian Allendale is fighting. The berserker moves over and hits Arzag for 2 damage, 9-8 with his huge axe. Arzag strikes back 9-8 and then drinks a small healing potion to restore 2 health. The barbarian continues his attack on Allendale but misses 3-4. The berserker hits Allendale for another 2 points of damage, 12-8. The third action goes to the berserker, who hits Allen but only for 1 point this time on a 9-8. Arzag hits the berserker 7-6 and then 14-4. The second strike being a double 6, which means no defense allowed. Allendale gets an attack on the barbarian, but it's defended 6-8, and he puts his token back in the bag. Arzag misses the berserker 9-11 and then drinks another potion. These things cost money, and I've only got one more. More grunting and sweating in close combat. This is at the nobody needs to move to hit each other phase. Arzag hits the berserker 10-8. The barbarian misses Allendale 6-9. The berserker misses Arzag 7-8. Arzag misses the berserker 7-12, but then hits with his follow-up strike 12-5. The berserker has only 1 wound left. The barbarian gets the extra action and misses Allendale 4-8. So no movement and no one died that round. Yep, here we go. Arzag misses the berserker 9-9 and then blocks the return strike 7-7. The next series attacks sees Arzag blocked 9-13. The berserker's attack is blocked 10-10, so just barely. Arzag hanging on with ties going to the defender. Arzag misses 10-14 and the barbarian misses Allendale. So that's an entire round of 6 attacks and nobody hit nothing. The berserker misses Arzag 4-12. The barbarian hits Allendale 7-2. Ouch. Arzag then hits the berserker 10-7 and the remaining barbarian runs off. Combat over. Challenge completed. Score 1 for the good guys. We find 5 gold. That's about 1.5 healing potions. While the combat is with the Berserker is over, we still have not found the driving force behind these barbarian raiders. Here is the throne room with piles of stolen loot from the town and other travelers. Behind the throne is Mazmar, the shaman that is leading this band. He gives us a monologue where he tells us how we're all going to die by his powers for daring to oppose him. Arzag growls, "We'll see if he can magic 3 feet of steel from his guts." Fight on. The two nearest barbarians move up. Jill moves to get out of the way. Arzag charges forward and hits the lead barbarian with his first strike. Mazmar totters forwards and lightens Arzag, missing 5 to 12, not helped by having to shoot past his throne. Arzag can do a lightning bolt spell, which not only hits its primary target, but hits any other adventurers within 3 squares of the primary target. So Allendale, Arzag, and Jill all need to keep nice and spread out. Okay. Arzag hits the barbarian 10 to 4 and parries the return strike 8 to 9. Arzag hits and kills the first barbarian 10 to 5 and then moves towards the shaman. Mazmar misses Arzag 7 to 8 as Arzag twists out of the way of the lightning bolt. Arzag charges the wizard and hits 13 to 6. Magic that one away. Mazmar hits Arzag 7 to 5. He's not just good with magic. And then Arzag hits Mazmar 10 to 6 again. Mazmar misses Arzag 5 to 6. The last barbarian moves around and attacks Arzag, missing 5 to 8. Arzag then attacks Mazmar with a flurry of blows. The first is parried, but the second slide past his guard and strikes home. The shaman is now bleeding from several wounds. Mazmar is down to 1 health remaining. The barbarian then hits Arzag 8 to 7. Ouch, Arzag's now down to 6 health. I could drink a healing potion, but those cost 3 gold a serving. So, skin will get better. Potions cost money. With the final effort for the round, Arzag hits Mazmar 5 to 4. 2 bad rolls can make things right, and Mazmar falls. However, this barbarian's made of sterner stuff and doesn't run away when his leader falls. The barbarian misses Arzag 4 to 8. Arzag strikes 13 to 10 and misses 4 to 7 on his second attack with a double 1. The barbarian then hits Arzag 8 to 5 but misses his follow-up strike 8 to 10. Allendale moves up, puts his token back in the bag. Arzag swings and hits the barbarian 10 to 8. The barbarian misses Arzag 4 to 5. Arzag misses 5 to 8, but then connects with his follow-up strike 11 to 4. Chonk! The blade strikes flesh. The heroes look at each other. Have we done it? Smiles break out. There is a choking laugh from Mazmar as he reads a transformation spell and turns into a giant tentacle horror. Here we go again. Here's a close-up of Mazmar posing for the camera in his transformed state. Monster Mazmar moves up and tries to grab Arzag with his tentacles. This misses 9 to 13. Arzag hits with 2 quick strikes, 13 to 7 and 9 to 4. His third strike missing 7 to 10. Mazmar misses 5 to 5, and then a flailing tentacle connects 9 to 8. Arzag dodges 2 more tentacle attacks, 4 to 10 and 9 to 9, while he looks for an opening. He then strikes 8 to 5. Mazmar counters 12 to 8. At this point, Mazmar has 3 health and Arzag 4, so it's definitely a race to the bottom. However, Arzag then hits twice more, 9 to 6 and 11 to 8. Mazmar down to 1 health. Mazmar is not done yet, however, and then hits 11 to 8 and misses 11 to 12. Arzag, tiring now, misses twice, 9 to 10 and 9 to 10. Mazmar misses 5 to 10, and then Arzag lands the killing blow, 11 to 8. With the destruction of Mazmar's demonic form, it glows brightly and then explodes in a blinding flash. When our heroes can finally see again, there is no sign of Mazmar. There is, however, his robe, which might be magical. It's covered in fancy-looking golden scroll work. I think that might buy us a few beers back in town. I think so. Epilogue. The heroes make it back to town to a